May the 7th, 2023. Guys, you're looking at images that are Earth facing. This is from the Soho Lascaux satellite. And we're getting a lot of activity picking up on the sun. I think what we're seeing is part of what's called the electric universe. Mercury and Venus are pulling around to the Earth facing side of the sun. While they were on the backside, we were seeing backside explosions. But now that they're moving around, we're seeing activity pick up, and we've got an incoming CME today here in the U.S. Again, when I say today, what that means is the U.S. will be broadsided by this thing. If we were on the other side of the planet, it was nighttime, you would see the worst effects on the sunny side. But again, this is going to be coming in today. These are also Earth-facing images from the Solar Dynamics Observatory. You're seeing different coronal mass ejections, filament releases, but in the top right corner of this is where these sunspots are coming in. Notice here again this top left section where you see the red and blue areas of the sunspots. Those are actually opposite polarities, and that's where you get your arcing and your explosions. Excuse this, as the software that we're watching has a couple of glitches in it. But these areas are large and they're dangerous because of their dual composition. Now, as we look at this, we're going to look at the CME tracker also and look at the timing of the events. Here's what we're seeing. One CME leave, another one leaves, and it catches up with the first one about the time it hits our planet. Now, this is for today. If we back this up, you see the impact peak at around 2100 hours right there, but we're going to start seeing effects a little earlier here, around 1600 hours today. So you're talking about 1 o'clock this afternoon on the East Coast. Now, that'll put us around 10 or so across the nation from 10 a.m. over to 1 p.m. So again, we will be broadsided by this. What you're seeing in the top is plasma density. That's how thick and powerful this coronal mass ejection is. At the bottom is the radial velocity, and it's showing not that strong, maybe 500, 600 kilometers per second, but you are approaching 1,000,000 miles per hour. The Earth is located here. Mercury is between us and the Sun, and Venus is right there in this triangle. They are pulling around. That is exactly what is controlling where those sunspots are. Electric universe, I've seen it too many times. Venus is there, Mercury's there, and we're seeing this triangle. In other words, that area of the Sun is Earth facing, and that's where the CMEs are coming. Don't want to make it a long, drawn-out video right now. The electric universe itself is an entirely different video. It would take a good bit of time to explain that. I've done it before as we were watching large comets come in. They affect the sun the same way. Now, Jupiter is here. Jupiter is the sun's binary twin, and its gravitation is the whole reason that we're seeing the false narrative about a planet X out in the solar system. Jupiter is the only planet that does not rotate around the center of the sun. See that dot that I put just above the word Sol? Outside the sun, because of Jupiter's gravity, that's the point that the sun rotates and Jupiter rotates around. They are binary twins. Jupiter was called Nibiru by the ancients. As it came into the inner solar system, it crushed the fifth planet, which we now see in this green line called the asteroid belt. There was a fifth planet there. It almost destroyed Mars. Debris came in, and Earth felt the impacts as well as our moon. But that is the force, and that's why you will never see a Planet X on any telescope or any camera, because it does not exist. They don't want to tell you that Jupiter is the cause for a lot of things. It orbits the Earth every 11.8 years, not 1 year like our Earth. 11.8 years is the same exact time of the solar cycles. Okay, they last that time. As Jupiter gets closer to the sun on its eccentric orbit, we see more powerful events happening. But Jupiter, again, does not rotate around the center of the sun. It's so large that they have a point outside the sun that they rotate around. It's amazing to talk about that. I really enjoy the subject. But again, Jupiter is what was called Nibiru, the planet of the crossing, that crossed into the inner solar system and did all the damage. It left us with an asteroid belt, scars on Mars and on the planet. And by the way, there was a comet Venus at one time. Very interesting. But it has settled into orbit. It supposedly was knocked off the side of Jupiter during these collisions. Now, Jupiter has tremendous amount of moons, and Saturn does too, because all of that debris from the collisions coming into the inner solar system was collected by these planets, except the larger material that is now part of the asteroid belt. You see Ceres, one of the larger asteroids, inside that belt. You see it to the top left of our planet. It's an interesting theory about the electric universe because I believe in it 100%. It just would take a good bit more time to explain it and show the evidence involved. Many of you are aware of it. But again, the area where Mercury and Venus are connected with the Sun, and it's called in our case, it would be an Earth-Sun magnetic connection point. But here you have the Venus connection points, the Mercury, all the planets have a spot on the Sun where that plasma tube goes out, connects with that planet, energy's transferred. That's what we're seeing with Venus and Mercury on that side of the Sun today, guys, with the sunspots. As Mercury keeps turning to the right, you're going to see the sunspots move with that sun on the Earth-facing side of the Sun. And we may see possibly more action from the Sun. It's going to be events like this that trigger the chapter of Malachi, chapter 4, where Shemesh opens its wings. And Shemesh is the Sun. Malachi, chapter 4. Only 4 short chapters in the book. Read it. You'll understand why and how the devil gets destroyed and his creations of destruction, satellites, 5G, all of that's going to be taken down by a solar blast. We're watching it, guys. You watch it. It's a heads up. Be safe.